Guys, my kids' books are all over this house in all kinds of different rooms, and we're constantly running back and forth trying to find the book for bedtime. So I thought this little nook in our hallway would be the perfect spot to build a bookshelf. I'm going to show you how I do it. So the first thing we need to do to get started is to cut all of our wood to size. I'm using 1x10 pre-primed wood just in stock at the home center, and I'm going to start by cutting what's going to be my vertical sides. So I need 2 of those, and then I'll get to the shelf boards. Safety first. So these are going to be my vertical pieces, and to get the measurement for the shelf boards that go in between, I need to subtract 1.5 inches to account for the 3/4 inch thickness of each size so that my bookshelf will fit in the area that I have it planned for. Since I'm gonna have 6 shelf boards that are all the same dimension, I'm gonna cut my 3 pieces of 1x10 at once so I don't have to keep remeasuring. You just have to make sure that the side you're measuring off of is flush with all 3 boards. Okay. Three down, 3 to go. Okay, now I have 1x2s that will be the cleats that support the bookshelf. So I'll attach these underneath the shelf and then attach them to the wall, and that will give all the support that our books need. So they'll be the same length as the shelves that we just cut. Because I have an air vent in my hallway, I don't want to cover that up, but I'm going to add a little detail on the bottom of the vertical pieces to kind of work that into the design. So I have the saw turned to 40 degrees, and I'm gonna line it up with the bottom edge of these vertical pieces. Get it lined up with this corner. Okay, and we can assemble. I'm going to attach the cleats to the back of the shelf boards before I put the shelf boards on the vertical sides. So I'm gonna run a bead of wood glue along here, and then we'll get some nails going. Now you could build this with just a hammer and nails, but a nail gun, much more fun and faster. All right, and see how this is sticking out? Just wanna make sure you push it together and get it flush before you drive the nail. Just add a few more now that we got it all secure. Next. All right, I have all my shelf boards laid out. Before I get them all assembled together with the vertical sides, I wanted to go ahead and sand the bottom, and you can see like the way it was primed, it just kind of gets dinged up in the factory. So I want to give that a good sanding, but I also want to address some of the nails that popped out where the nail gun was at a bad angle. And so I want to show you how to cut those so that we can have a nice, smooth, pretty piece of furniture. These are nail pulling pliers, and they have a bull nose, like a rounded head. So you can use those to pry the nail out. And I already put another nail in that same area, so now it's secure, and we have that out of the way. You can use any grit between maybe 150 and 220 to sand pre-primed wood like this, and that'll be perfect. Another little tip that helps make your project look professional is sometimes the nail gun doesn't sink your nails as much as you need them to. So you just need a little nail set that they have in the tool aisle, and then you hammer the nail head down below the surface so that you can putty the hole. So now you have a hole that the putty can sit in, which will make it disappear once you paint it. I'm gonna put marks on these side pieces so I know where the shelf boards are going, and so I know that they will be level and on the same spot on each board. I have them opened up here, so I'll mark the bottom of each board. You can just decide how tall you want your openings to be. I want my bottom one to be 15. I'm using a speed square to take this small little mark and make it longer so that my shelf won't be crooked. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 shelf boards. Now I need to get my table out of the way because this shelf unit is large. One last little step is to transfer your shelf mark to the tiny side of the board using the speed square again. And the next step, this will come in very handy. All right, it's gonna be a little wobbly to get everything started, but once you get one shelf board in place, it'll be a lot easier. So what I wanna do is add a little bit of glue. All right, now I'm gonna get it lined up on top of my line. Make sure it's flush. And we get a nail in it. All right, so I'm just putting a nail on this one side where I have it lined up with the mark. And then I'll make sure the back side is lined up too. And add a nail on that side. It should be more stable now. So I'm just making sure the shelf board matches the line before I put a nail in the other end. Now we just need to add the finishing details that really make a difference, like caulk and painter's putty. So I'm just gonna apply a quick bead of caulk to where the cleat meets the bottom of the shelf and where the shelf is meeting the sides on the top and the bottom. That'll make it look like a professional job. So you can use your finger, a wet towel, smooth it all out. This is definitely worth the extra step to get that smooth finish for your paint job. Normally I would use my paint sprayer for this kind of project, but I'm using oil paint and I haven't burst that bubble of using oil paint in my paint sprayer yet. So I'm using a foam roller to get a similar smooth paint finish without having to brush it on.
Once you've located your studs, preload your screws on the cleats and check that your shelf is level as you secure it to the wall.
We actually don't have as many books as I thought we have, but I love that they're all in one spot so all of the kids can access them easily and we have room for more books. Yay! Thanks for checking in.